This one off right. I am going to wish everybody shalom. I'm going to wish you pleasant greetings in the name of the Most High. I want you all to understand that if you don't have a relationship with the Most High, then you need to go and get one. Time's up. It's time for you to do the right thing. No one is going to keep talking to you over and over again for you to finally figure out that we are at a point where you need to have a very close relationship with the Creator so that you can understand everything that you're seeing around you. Those are the things that you need to make sure of right now. Hold on a second, y'all. I see because I'm doing this one last time, some people just want to be in the show. But what you're going to find out is when I say I don't play, I don't play. So y'all don't mind for 1 second. I'll be right back. If I had the pen of pain, it would be all over you. Do you understand? Okay, all right. I hate to sound like a Tony Baker video, but you asked for it. Sit your monkey ass down. Now, there'll be no more of that. Now that I have everybody's undivided attention, including the Doberman Pinscher, I would like to let you all know that tonight you're in tune to the last social media edition of Factz over Feelingz. Tonight will be the last time that I'll come before you. I've been coming before you now for about 3 years now. I remember when we started way back in 2017 with the forecast about the eclipse and all of that. And that's how the whole thing got started. And look at where we are now. In 2020, we have been rolling along, and we've gone from our little small group of dedicated people who used to be here every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday to now over 100,000 people who, for some strange reason, feel like this is the place to be, that this is where they think that they can hear from the Creator, that without anybody pulling any string, without anybody trying to pimp you for your money, without anybody trying to pimp you over your ignorance. No one is trying to do that here simply to enlighten you. We've been here for quite some time. And there used to be a time when we could say whatever we wanted to say and nobody would bother us. And then there was a time when we started noticing things started disappearing, things started being censored, things started being blocked. Certain individuals, it appeared, could say and show anything, and we couldn't. There was a bias that was beginning at the social media company that was Facebook, which somehow then bled over to the ownership that they had for Instagram. Unfortunately, if you all remember, back before the quarantine, I did a show called The Communist, The Comet, and The Conspiracy. Do you all remember what happened? They pulled the plug right in the middle of me talking, which had never happened ever in the history of my 7 years at the time on Instagram, which further let me know that it was time for me to go. So tonight, I'll give you one last teaching. I'll give you one last piece of advice. I'll make it one last available to you for you to pick up whatever it is you think that you haven't picked up so that you don't have to go through this anymore. If you look on the profile of this Instagram account, you will see a link to my YouTube channel. You might want to go check it out now before I'm gone. At that particular point, you will only be able to find me on my YouTube channel for a little while. And then from there, we're off into BlackTube, which is something that you must be a member to be able to join or to see. I feel sorry that I have to take Factz over Feelingz and the morning mental away from you on the regular basis, but apparently there's too many snakes in the grass and too many people who are eating off of the message when my message was never meant to be eaten off of to start with it. The truth should be told, never to be sold. So tonight I'm going to talk a little bit about a few things, and then you all know how we leave up out of here. And the next time I see you, will be on YouTube at the same time on the YouTube channel. If you intend to follow me away after that, if that you so desire, then you will then be given directions of how you enter into that particular place. The first thing I want to start off tonight, besides giving praise to the Most High, is I want to tell you all a small story about a group of people, group of black people, who decided that they wasn't going to have it anymore, who decided to talk amongst themselves like adults, organize themselves, be dedicated to the cause, and be willing to put themselves on the line. They decided to do this in a place that was notorious for its racism, notorious for its abuse of African American people. And they went up there, and that was Stone Mountain, on July 4th, which was a holiday that we don't celebrate because we were slaves in 1776. And when we went up there, the white folks didn't notice. They were caught off guard. They didn't even want to talk about it because the implications were too scary. Even people in important places were asking, how is it possible that something like this got under the radar? How did we not know that something like this existed right up under our noses? What is going on? That was to be expected. What wasn't to be expected was the paranoid response by the black community itself. They asked themselves the same question. Where did this come from? How could this have existed right up under our noses? And we who thought we knew better knew nothing about it. So they had a paranoid response. Some responded out of fear. Some responded out of ignorance. Most responded out of some form of a little bit of both. There was some jealousy and some envy and a lot of the same old emotions that play out all the time. But the bottom line was nobody saw it coming. You were a part of that. You should feel good today because today the superior race, as they call themselves, those who are in power, those who hold all the land, all the wealth, the ones that want you to believe that you didn't invent anything, the ones that want you to believe that the arts came from them, the ones that want you to believe that the great literary works came from them, attempted to do today what we did 45 days ago. Not what we did on July 25th in Louisville, what we did in Stone Mountain. They attempted that today, and in case you haven't heard the news, it was a goddamn circus. I am not about to dig into the details. I had too much fun laughing all day long. I had too much fun watching the reports come in. I had too much fun remembering what I saw when I was in Stone Mountain, along with the black folks that were there of the NFAC. And what I witnessed today, was downright chaos, comedy, and confusion. They even shot themselves. Everything that they accused us of doing, every nasty insult that they hurled at us, turned around and proved true about them. This is a teachable moment, people, because if this right here was an example of what they tell you about you is true about them, then why can't you see that everything else that they tell you about you is not true about you, but true about them? They want you to believe that you're violent when they're violent. They want you to believe that you're lazy and you're liars when the fact is they're lazy and they're liars. They want you to believe that you're inept and that you're liable to be unsafe and untrained and shoot yourselves. Well, they've done that too. And by the way, yes, I have the video. Oh, you know the video was going to come out. You know somebody caught the discharge on film. The same way that they took that same energy and tried to make it look like we were a bunch of reckless black people, I hope they use that same energy, because there wasn't even that many of you. We had more people than you, and we had one discharge. You had 30 people, and you still shot somebody. So please, don't come at me like that. This is a day of... It's not even facts over feelings right now. It's karma over the dealings right now. Karma over everything that's been dealt is coming back at you. Y'all can sit there and be cute if you want to, but you know you need to agree with me right now. I know it's somebody got their face scrunched up because they cannot believe that everything that they accuse us of turned around and happened to them. Oh, they was out there fighting. No, it was her. They chased them down the street. They had to hide in the library. They hid. We ain't never ran from nobody, and we ain't hid from nobody, and we not about to start. Not only that, y'all had guns. Remember? Real guns that y'all supposed to be experts at shooting. Remember? So keep that same energy, because today is our day. Today was our day to celebrate. Today was our day to sit back and show you this is what we're talking about. You see, now y'all understand why I always tell y'all we're not a gang. We're not a mob. We're not some street operation. We are a constitutional militia. And if you have not studied the law, if you are incapable of reading the Constitution, if you don't know anything about judicial law, if you know nothing about citizen responsibility and empowerment, then you don't have any business saying that you know anything about a militia. You can join one, but you need to understand what a militia is. It's not a social club. It's not a gun club. It's none of those things. So stop expecting things out of a militia that you expect from a gun club or a club that's there to train you or something like that. That's not what a militia is. A group of citizens who have picked up arms, banded together to go make a point. Everything else just kind of gets picked up as you go along. You understand what I'm saying? Militias can be called up under the Constitution to fight alongside the military. Mobs aren't called up. Gangs aren't called up. Militias are called up. Militias can go on to become police forces. Militias can become the police force for the black community if we structure it as so. There are people right now sitting around in every state forming their own chapters to be a part of a consolidated militia. Now, what you must understand is there are those of us amongst us who don't feel that way. So I thought I would dedicate my last show tonight as a recap of the 6 types of things that I'm going to leave you to be on the guard for after I'm gone. I've told you about these before. I'm going to go back to one of my favorite books to pull out. You know I'm going to pull it out. You know there's no way to get around it. I am going back into the book of Morals and Precepts. I'm going somewhere around chapter 12. If you have a copy, most people will ask me, where can I get a copy of the books of Morals and Precepts? And I tell you that you cannot. It is not a standalone book. It is a part of a series of books. This is the books of Morals and Precepts, formerly called the Book of Establishment, this being the 3rd book of the great book of the Sons of Fire, containing the teachings of the great unnamed first masters and the hidden wisdom recorded in earlier times from books written in the sacred letters and made indestructible. These are your ancestors talking. Now, your ancestors told us that there are 6 types of people to be on the lookout for. And as I close this chapter in social media history, because I'm pretty sure these recordings and these teachings will go on to be played over and over again in your home. That's fine. Everything has a beginning and everything has an end. The first person we want to warn you about is greed. Commit no avaricious deed to obtain additional riches. Fill not your heart with love for the possessions of another, nor support yourself with that belongs to him unless you have his authority to do so. A man who is greedy and gasping within his own household is a worm in a good apple. He spreads rottenness throughout the whole. A maggoty fig pollutes the crop. Talking about the greedy people. Greed will gain earthly goods, even riches, but it distorts the soul. The soul of a greedy man is not a pleasant thing to behold. Greed is a poison within the heart which contaminates and destroys the good which is in man. The soul builders of virtue, honesty, duty, affection, they wither and die before this cold blast. The next person we want to warn you about is those who are filled with vanity. You see, you have to realize that the vain man scorns wisdom and knowledge, decency, and reserve are strangers to him. He oppresses his inferiors, and he is insolent to his superiors, who in return look down upon his weakness with amusement. Let me say that again. The person who is vanity, who's all full of themselves, who only wants to care about themselves, they scorn wisdom. You can't tell them anything. And they scorn knowledge. They don't want to know anything. They scorn decency. They don't do anything in decent disorder. They don't care how they talk to you. They have no respect for you, my sister. And they have no reserve. They are reckless. These people are dangerous. They oppress people who are lesser than them. They want you to bow down to them. And they are insolent to superiors, who in return look down upon this weakness. That's a weakness, as an amusement. The next person you want to be on the lookout for is envy. Oh, you know envy. Yes. He who hates, who excel him and encompass himself with a wall of wickedness so that he is cut off from the good of the earth. The heart of the envious man is gall and bitterness. His tongue spits forth venom, and the success of his neighbors lengthens his night. The worms of hatred and malice feast upon his heart. and his soul is corrupt and decayed. His face reflects, but dimly, the fearsome thing within. Someone who's filled with envy is an ugly soul. If they're vain too, they're an even uglier soul. If they're filled with greed, they have become something so grotesque that you cannot even look at them. There's another person you want to be on the lookout for. It is the man with the bad temper. It says the hot-headed man cannot restrain himself. He exposes his weakness before all men. He shrieks his fury and his voice soars up to the unheeding heavens. He tears himself apart and he casts his body into weariness. He rages like a destructive fire among the reeds, which blaze up in a gust of flame, and then are no more, only black and ashes remain. The real man smiles at his futility and quietly goes on his way. Y'all need to catch that last part. The real man smiles at his futility and quietly goes on his way. This is written in the book. I've been teaching y'all this for almost 3 years now. It says, turn your back on the bad-tempered man. Leave him to his own company, that he may consume himself. The fire that blazes in his belly shall reduce him to pale nothingness. A bad temper is no more than the mask of a weak and frightened man. Let me say that again, ladies. A bad temper is no more than the mask of a weak and frightened man. The next person we want to be on the lookout for is the person who loves to just do nothing but lie and be full of deceit. It says, avoid the liar, turn from his path, but fear him not. For falsehood is the weapon of a coward. A lying tongue reveals a craven heart. Lies and deceit are the merchandise of the weakling and the coward. Avoid contamination from this foul wares by shunning his company. Putrid meat defiles the pure air. It says, leave the liar alone to squat in his web of falsehood spread for the unwary. See, the unwary is all of y'all who listen and believe it. You're the unwary. He's preying on the fact that you don't know. So because you don't know whether it's true or not. But he's hitting you with a lie. That's all they do. That's what the book is saying. I'm in the book, y'all. I'm not telling you what I think. I'm not telling you what I feel. I'm telling you what the book say. Lying and slander, weapons despised and rejected by the real man, loom large in the armament of the weakling. Let me break that down. If someone is lying on you, or they're trying to slander your name in all their moistness, those are the weapons that a real man despises those. A real man ain't going to lie on you. A real man is not going to slander you. A real man will say, I am not going to do that. But in the armament of a weakling, when you open up their chest and see what they working with, when you open up their toolbox and see what they working with, you find out the only thing they got in their toolbox is lying and slander. We don't rock with those words. The tongue of the liar is a shovel wherewith a pit is dug to trap the innocent. So most of y'all who get caught up in someone else's lies, it's a trap. It was meant to pull you in. But in the end, you're going to find out that you're going to be just like the people was when they got down to the ocean, and Moses was supposed to split the ocean, but Moses was up on the mountain getting the word. So then they turned to Barnabas and they were like, well, what are we supposed to do? And he ain't got no way to split the ocean. So he telling y'all we stupid for being out here. This whole thing is stupid. I don't even know why we here. I don't even know why we saw all of those 10 plagues and miracles. We just out here. Y'all know we just need to go on back to Master's house and be happy. We trapped you. And then by the time Moses came back and said, what is going on over here? I left for one day. I come back and all of a sudden I got a mutiny on my damn hands. Half of y'all ready to quit and the other half ready to hang me. What the hell happened while I was gone? I've been up here getting the 10 commandments. Now I'm back. Now what the hell is going on? And what did they say? Oh, we was misled. Oh, he lied to us. All that bullshit. Ain't nobody trying to hear that right now. Y'all have to learn to live with the consequences of your actions as a people. We have to learn to live with the consequences of our actions as a people. We're living with the consequences right now of actions that we've taken or have not taken as a people. You want to know why our communities are in disarray? You want to know why the black family really don't exist no more like it used to? You want to know why we don't have the black political power that we have, that we just have tokens and representatives up there so that they can look like they got somebody on the team that ain't on the team for us? You want to know why they act like every time we decide to defend ourselves or get organized, it's a problem? It's because we have not taken the action, or we have not, or lack of inaction. So now we're paying for it with the consequences of it, which is why we find ourselves in the situation that we're in today. Got to stop and take this time on this last Factor with Feelingz to acknowledge some folks, to acknowledge some alliances. I know that you're tuned in tonight because you told me you would, so I have to acknowledge all of the folks in the United Kingdom. It is so good to have you all on with us. I know you stayed up so you could catch this. All the folks in the continent of Africa, again, you two that have reached out, we waited. I'm so glad that y'all could tune in. To all of the folks down in Haiti, Jamaica, you two that are tuned in. Big shout out to my man Mike Lowry Media down in Kingston. I'd like to say to all of the folks in Haiti, I'm so glad that you all are hitting me in the box, letting me know that you're on all down through South America. I'm so glad that you too are tuned in. We are all over the globe tonight. My folks in Canada, I do see you. Thank you for coming in. But let me take a couple of minutes to do something that we can only do right here in the United States. I want everybody in the United States to let me know where you from right now. Go ahead and type in where you are hailing from tonight on the last Facts Over Feelings. Let's get it on the record. So when the record is